Well, yesterday's Take 5 was 5 things under 5 minutes that we could do quick and easily in the garden, where today it's going to be Take 5. How can we inject coziness? It's officially November now. It's out with the Halloween decorations and it's in with a really hygge cozy vibe. So what are 5 things that we can do in under 5 minutes to infuse our homes with coziness, comfiness, and, well, it's time to snuggle in, you guys. Okay, the temperatures have gotten cool to cold, I guess, and it's time for fireplace season, and I like nothing more. So, and you know, I think any room without a fire in it can be a little bit not very cheery, either a fire in a fireplace or a candle lit or something. I just think it really injects coziness into your environment. So, and also I love the ritual of it. So the first fire of the season for us is always, it's kind of a ritual. But typically we make chicken and dumplings and we light the first fire of the season. But before I can do that, I need to make sure that the fireplace is cleaned out. Truth be told, full transparency, this is actually will be our second fire of the season. Because before that, I had somebody come in. This is a homekeeping thing. I had expert chimney come and do my annual fireplace clean out to make sure that it's safe. Now I am just getting rid of all the ashes in here. I'm going to restock my wood holder. I'm going to restock my fireplace matches. And before you know it, well, it's going to be very, very cheerful and very, very cozy in here. Okay, one thing I discovered before I do all that other stuff, one thing I discovered when we moved into this house, and by the way, having a wood-burning fireplace was on our list of musts when we moved from our larger home and when we downsized. One thing I noticed was this has, and at first I didn't know what it was, but this has just a handy hole right here. It reminds me kind of like a laundry chute that we had at our other house, but it is an ashes chute. So I can just scoop my ashes. I'm not doing it with any grace, but I can just scoot my ashes down into this hole. Can you see it, Stuart, there? And then I just put, after I am finished, I just put this metal cover back on it. And then I can clean the ashes out from my handy little outdoor entry into the fireplace in the back where I can scoop out the ashes, and I don't have to do that all in here. Now, truth be told, I usually have a few extra or whatever that I like to put in my ashes bucket. And why? Because this is really good potash, and it's good for things like dusting around my clematis in the front and other things that are just, well, they just like this kind of treatment. So I always save a little bit for that purpose. I always end up with really black and sooty hands, but you know, I'm just channeling Dick Van Dyke and cleaning out my fireplace. And one of the reasons we can have so many fires in our fireplace is because we've got a gas jet, and it just makes it so easy. And yes, I think in another life I was a scullery maid because I'm always the one that's cleaning out the ashes. Hubs never does it. And yes, I always make this same mess. I never wear gloves or anything. I think part of me just likes the tactile nature of it, the earthiness of it, if you will. I wanted to point out one thing. I also always think of my grandparents, my grandma and grandpa Mormon, because these belonged to them in their fireplace in Indiana. And even though they don't really have a function, I just like having them there, and it reminds me of them. So I've got the fire going. It's very easy. I don't care. You know, some of you may be wondering, oh, do I mind if this part of the hearth gets stained with soot and things? And on the contrary, you guys know I like old things, so that doesn't bother me at all. So I am thinking about getting a different fireplace screen. I got this at Williams-Sonoma many, many years ago. I like it. It's got great heft, but I am thinking about getting a multi-fold screen in wrought iron, a similar color that would cover up a little bit more of the fireplace. That may just be something that is completely unnecessary, but something I've thought about. So that's my question of the day. What do you think? Should I just stay with this fireplace screen or get one that is more reminiscent of the shape of the opening here? That's what I'm thinking about, and I'm going to go wash my hands. Well, if you're like me and you are constantly cold as soon as the temperatures drop, then I think having some source of warmth is just absolutely crucial. And a fireplace, it provides both warmth, but mostly for me, it provides ambiance and a warm and cozy environment, just like candlelight. Yes, I actually do light those candles. I usually do it in the morning or in the evening after dark when Hubs and I are sitting in here, and it's just really very snug. Dare I say, a little bit romantic, even if we're both in our jammies and and our Bombas socks. But nevertheless, I think it's important to have some flame of some kind in your life. So now there are even, and I need to research this, but there are now like even tiny little alcohol, energized alcohol that burns tabletop fireplaces, or things where you could roast marshmallows or things on a tabletop. I've seen them for outside, and I bet there are some for inside use too. It's, or resurrect your old fondue pot from the 70s. Light it up. Anything like that that gives you a sense of coziness, camaraderie, community, warmth, conviviality, I think is really, really important. And do it often, not just for special occasions. I really think, don't light your taper candles just for special occasions. I've said that a million times. Make this kind of mood an everyday feature in your life. Why? Because you deserve it. Okay, here's your reminder. I know I've said it ad nauseum, so it's not news to you, but this is just your reminder to have candles, whichever kind you burn, whether they're votive candles, taper candles, column candles, whatever kind you burn, have a big, large supply of them, because typically you can buy them in bulk at a lower price point. I buy these locally from stores here. I've bought them online, but what I make sure of is that I always just have candles at the ready, so I know I've got a supply of them. I'm not hesitant to burn them because I think, oh, I don't have any more to replace them. Likewise, I also burn my fancy candles, those that might be shaped like a birch log or those that might be twirled. I also burn those because, again, if you know you've got backup, you are more likely to use what you have. Probably the coziest scene there is you're just sitting in front of a fire, you've got a throw on your lap, you've got a candle lit, you've got a cup of something yummy and hot. And I think all of that contributes to just, I think one of the most secure feelings you can have and most comfortable feelings you can have. And it's not just about coziness, it's really about comfort. We want things to make us feel more comfortable. So this reminds me that I wanted to tell you about this. I have shared this with you before, but I want to share it with you again. And that is how valuable these heated throws are. So what brand is this? This one is Homemate, but there are a number of different brands. Whether you buy them online or you buy them from a local shop, these are just wonderful. And I am reminded about this because very, very sadly, this is, it's terrible to have, I have a classic housewarming gift that I give when someone moves into a new home. There are certain things that I routinely give for Christmas. And sadly now, there are things that I routinely give when a friend of mine has been diagnosed with breast cancer. And this will be the third time that I have given one of these heated throws to a friend of mine who has breast cancer. And I gave one to a friend of mine originally, and she said that was the best thing she was given during all of this. She said it just made her feel warm and comfortable and secure. And she's now gotten them for all of her grandkids. And obviously, I have one too. I can sit at my desk and work, and it makes me, sometimes I'm not productive because I'm just cold. And this helps me be more cozy, but also more productive because I can have it in my lap, whether I'm sitting in front of the fire, I'm reading a book, I'm working on my computer or whatever. But it is also really a great gift if you are wanting to provide the gift of comfort, the gift of thoughtfulness, the gift of feeling more secure. There are people, you know, you've got in your corner. And so this, sadly, is now my go-to gift that I give to friends of mine and even acquaintances who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. So if you have one, pull it out. It will make you feel comfortable, cozy, warmer, but it will also remind you of your friends and the importance of thinking of those who are less fortunate than you. On a happier note, I had a scarf on yesterday when I was working outside. I find that I can just have a t-shirt on, but if my neck, my limbs, my ears are cold, then I'm cold. So I have lots of scarves, and the only caveat is they can't be scratchy. So you know, if you're going to have to really unearth them from the bowels of your chest of drawers or your closet or whatever, do that now, and then don't bury them again. During the season of warmth and comfort, leave them out where you can grab them on a moment's notice. I got this one, and oh yeah, feel that. That is so nice. It is just yeah, incredible. It's all about how something feels to me, whether it's scratchy or not. And I bought this one recently, like I needed another scarf, but this color just, I mean, it absolutely seduced me. So I got this recently at a store in Salida, Colorado, and I keep it out. I keep it out at all times, and I'll wear it with my pajamas. I'll just wear it with almost anything because it makes me happy to see it. It makes me warm to have it around my neck. It's vibrant. I love the colors, and well, it's just a happy thing that makes me feel cozy. And again, it takes less than 5 minutes. So unearth, find, relocate, all of those things that you just don't use that often, that are at the bottom of your drawer or your closet. Pull them out, look at them, appreciate them visually, appreciate them tactily, and just do whatever you can to press into service those things that you already own that can contribute to the coziness of your home. Okay, this is kind of crazy, but it takes less than 5 minutes. And you get something accomplished. And that is when I'm really cold, I will fold laundry fresh out of the dryer. I'll put it here in front of the fire while I'm watching a movie or something. And while it's still warm from the dryer, it just feels luxurious, takes 5 minutes or less. The other thing that I like to do sometimes when I'm cold, and sometimes this can take longer than 5 minutes, but that's iron. So I'll set up the ironing board in the kitchen in front of the TV, and just the warmth of the iron itself and the smell of the fresh laundry, well, it makes me comfortable and cozy, and at least in the case of folding laundry, takes less than 5 minutes. Okay, well, obviously, seasonally appropriate flowers make me feel warm and cozy and all fuzzy inside, but so does the sense of the season. Anything that is cooking on the stove, whether it's chicken and dumplings or red beans and rice or hot cider, that just makes me feel good. And it is just a blast of warmth and hospitality when somebody walks through the door, I think. So that's made me dig out and rediscover something that I haven't been using much, but I'm using it on repeat now, and that's my Crockpot. But I have a baby Crockpot because I found that I just didn't use my big one anymore. I'm not cooking for a large crowd. It's typically just for hubs and myself, and I found that I wasn't unearthing that great big Crockpot because it was heavy, it was too big, it was hard to clean, and so I gave it away. I gave it away, and I replaced it with this dollhouse size Crockpot, and it is perfect for me. And here's two things that I have been cooking on repeat that take under 5 minutes, whether it's for breakfast or for dinner. But there's two things that I've been cooking on repeat. Well, let's start out first with breakfast. So Stuart, if you'll back up a little bit. Hubs and I have, over the past couple of years, we have just fallen in love with oatmeal. And I want to eat oatmeal that is healthier. And so I've been using the steel cut oats. These are, I think, Bob's Red Mill. But these take a longer time to cook. They're not like those quick cooking oats. They take a longer time to cook. And so consequently, in the morning, I wouldn't make them in the morning because they took longer and I wanted to be on the go. But you guys have heard about overnight oatmeal. And so now I just put the overnight oatmeal in my crock pot and it's done in the morning. It cooks on low for about 6 to 8 hours. It's the perfect consistency when I wake up. I do nothing but put in the oatmeal, water, and then I'll add some kind of yummy spices, lots of cinnamon, other kind of anti-inflammatory spices. I might put in some pumpkin pie seasoning or just whatever. And then obviously it makes more than just 2 servings. So I take the remainder and I put it in the refrigerator. And then in the morning, all we have to do is just scoop some of it into a bowl, add some almond milk and heat it up in the microwave. And it's delicious. And it is the healthier version. And then just depending, you know, Hub's biggest decision in the morning is what am I going to have on my oatmeal? And I'll say, well, what fruit do you want? Start with fruit. So right now we've been eating apples and pears. And so I'll say, oh, well then have almonds or walnuts with it. A lot of times we eat blueberries and I'll say, oh, have pecans or almonds with it. And then practically always I'll add either Manacora honey or agave syrup or something like that. And it's just delicious. And we have been comparing different kinds of oatmeal that you can get on the go. So we did this. We had kind of a food pilgrimage, which is one of the things in my book to kind of give a try. And we started wherever we would go. If they had takeout oatmeal, we would try it. So we tried it at Starbucks. We tried it at multiple McDonald's. We tried it it was a local fast food place up in Denver. And we decided that we liked our oatmeal the best. We liked the consistency of it the best. We liked the fact that it wasn't quick cook oats. And well, it took under 5 minutes. It was fun. And it was fun to go on an oatmeal food pilgrimage. So I'll show you where that is in my book. It's just a fun thing to do. We've also taken a food pilgrimage with cheeseburgers, onion rings.
I've been doing that one my whole life.
Yeah, onion rings, and huevos rancheros. And it's just something that the whole family tries when we go someplace, and we rank them. We rank them according to who has the best, oh my gosh, Clayton, New Mexico had the best huevos rancheros we've ever eaten. So it's a fun thing to do at home. It's a fun thing to do if you're traveling on the holidays. That's take a food pilgrimage, which I guess that would take over 5 minutes, but you can also put something in your crock pot, try oatmeal. When we come back, I'm going to show you what also I put in the crock pot to smell yummy for dinner. Okay, all of these things I'm telling you, I mean, nothing is new. I'm just reminding you of things that you already know, and it's just a little kick in the shins to do things you already know. What we all know is that the coziest and the most comfortable thing is to hold a sleeping baby, especially if the sleeping baby is your grandbaby. And I got to do that. So that was the ultimate in cozy comfort. But it was made even more cozy and comfortable because my son, Jamie, exposed me to something that I did not know about. Well, I kind of knew about it from the past, but boy, it's a big thing now. And that is if you don't have your own fireplace, which by the way, he does, but if you don't, then you can put on an AI version. AT&T used to have this. I remember they used to have a fireplace. Okay, and you can put on a fireplace. But the other thing you can put on, well, you just have so many options. You can have this one here is a cozy autumn shop. I mean, look at that. It's raining. Okay. Sometimes if I'm in a bookish mood, I can put that on. I can also put on a relaxing piano, jazz and rain. I can, that's going to make me, a commercial just like mine. Sometimes you have to do it. But it's a small price to pay to get this cozy scene.
Whoa.
So, and there are so many. There are so many. Here's another one, a different kind of fireplace. I mean, it's just absolutely, it's just fun. You wake up in the morning, you pick, okay, here's one with, I don't know, is that the one we already had with jack-o'-lanterns? Anyhow, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, and they have the fake steam coming up. I find this so comfortable, and they all play a background of relaxing jazz that you can listen to. And you can pick what kind of jazz you want. Some of them also, and I like this one too, I've been putting it on around Halloween. They also have some with Charlie Brown and Linus, and they play some of that George Winston music, and that's kind of fun. But I mean, look at that. It may be kind of cheesy AI, but nevertheless, it is great company in your kitchen, in your den, in your bedroom or whatever. When you're not wanting to consume mindless TV or the news or whatever, you can put this on and it's very, very comfortable, especially, we don't want to get a music strike, but especially when Stuart puts some of this kind of quiet jazz that I love, which is kind of like my autumn jazz radio that I like to listen to either on Spotify or on Pandora. And that is something you can do for yourself in under 5 minutes to really inject your house with cozy comfort. You can put it on in the morning, leave it on all day long, and well, it is just cozy. And while you are excavating the bowels of your closet or your drawers looking for those scarves, also unearth any of your felt hats. I wear hats a lot. I like them. And I had a whole bunch that were in a hat box kind of behind some luggage that I had. So I pulled them out, and I think they are fun not only to wear, they protect my skin, but I also think they are just kind of fun and really, I don't know, they create kind of a cozy vibe in your parlor, in your library, wherever. And here you go. Here is my outfit du jour. A lot more fun to do these outfit du jours in the fall than it was in the summer when it was mostly just about staying cool. First and foremost, okay, my scarf. This is a scarf that I made myself. Me and my friend Jenny, we both made one many, many years ago. And I actually surprisingly wear it more than I would have thought. I've completely forgotten how to knit since then, and I need to relearn because I actually like this scarf. So that's my first layer, and then I've got just a thin necklace on that Hubs gave me. This is the same. If you watch yesterday's video, this is just the same Banana Republic long sleeve T-shirt that I had on yesterday. This year, because I went to Ireland, I was inspired by the Irishness of this vest.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and I bought it. It's not even thrifted. I actually bought this new. I bought it online. My breeches are J. Peterman, and I did have to have these altered. I've had to have a lot of things altered. My shoes are Sam Edelman, and my socks. Well, what do you think they are? They are Bombas socks. They may not be very elegant to wear with these shoes, but comfort right now is more important to me than elegance. So there you go. There is my outfit du jour. Okay, as I said earlier, we're actually shooting this on Halloween. And so before I put this away to get out my other fall cozy decor, I just thought I would show you this. This is something that I got years ago at Pottery Barn, and it's kind of spooky. And this is going to sit on the table that we put outside where we serve our candy from when the trick-or-treaters come by. But let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to clear off my table because I also want my table to be cozier. So in the warm months, I kind of like just having a bare table. I think it feels cooler, it feels simpler, it feels less fussy. But this time of year, I like to use my tablecloths. I like to set a table that has more layers to it, and I think it's just kind of fun. So I'm going to move this that out of the way. And then I'm going to transform my table. Now, I sometimes do this, obviously if I'm going to set a table, I want it to be welcoming to my guests, but sometimes I just want to have a tablecloth on my table because it's just softer. It just gives a softer vibe. It makes me feel just a little bit more cozy. And in 5 minutes or less, I can put one of these, because you guys know that I like the silencer at my other table. at my other house, and sometimes I have trouble doing this just by myself. So even though it doesn't take long, it is hard to do one-handed. Stuart's helping me put this on. Yeah, yeah. Do we look slightly ridiculous? Yeah, you put on one side. Now, yes, true. Now, Stuart's using his leg. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, normally I have hubs here and he helps me put this on. But I like a silencer on here because it makes the undersurface padded. Stuart has his knee on there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Thank goodness Stuart is such a good sport.
And shooting.
And shooting. I mean, he is ambidextrous. He is, what a good guy you are, Stuart. Okay, so now I've got this on. I bought this online. I just measured my table. You can do the same for yours. On my rectangular table, I have a big piece of felt that I sometimes use, but this is a little bit easier and it fits perfectly, and well, I just like it. And so since I want a more comfy, cozy vibe in this area, and by the way, I can always pull out my table if guests arrive, then look at how beautifully this tablecloth that I got, and it's a new tablecloth, goes with my pillows. And I was talking to a friend the other day and she said, so Linda, what are your colors? And I said, well, kind of a neutral base, but then I would say blue and kind of a clay color, terracotta, which is reminiscent of the garden. I think those are kind of my colors. Okay, so I got this tablecloth. It was not expensive. I will put a link. And it just feels more comfy, cozy, or at least I think it does. Do you, Stuart?
Yeah, no, I like it a lot.
Okay, yeah, there's another question of the day. Do you think that having a tablecloth on makes it feel warmer? And then what I do, which is probably something that you guys do too, and that is I will just, when we eat at the table, I'll put a placemat over this, typically a raffia placemat. I'll put the placemat over it so it doesn't soil the tablecloth, so I can use it again. And in under 5 minutes, I've made this a little bit more comfy, cozy. Now I could style it in different ways. It could be something as easy as just a huge bowl of red and gold pears or something like that. I could do another flower arrangement. I think this one would look spectacular on there. And I could move it, so if I'm entertaining, I can move this temporarily to the table so that I have my kitchen island ready to stage all of my food, and people can serve from the island. But what I definitely want is some source of warmth. So I'm going to keep you guys in suspense. I will style this table for a video later, probably on a design for the day. I'll style this a little bit later. In fact, I've got a friend coming over this weekend. She bought a bunch of my books and she wants me to sign them. So I'll probably have appetizers and things on here, but I think it looks a little bit cozier, a little bit warmer, and a little bit more inviting with a 5-minute makeover of a silencer and a tablecloth. Well, nothing makes me feel more cozy and comfortable and secure than knowing I have a large stack of books that I want to read. And typically, like you, maybe I have one category of books I read that are a little bit more serious. I just finished Andrew Sorkin's book on 1929, which was fabulous. I absolutely loved it, but now I'm in the mood for something a little bit lighter. If you have not already ordered my book, A Year of Garden-Inspired Living, then obviously I hope that you do that. And I also hope if you are in the New England area that you will come to our book signing that I am having with two friends of mine, two other gardeners, Janet Mavec. You may know her from Orchard Jewelry, nature-inspired jewelry. By the way, these are some of her earrings, the Mille Fleur earrings that she designs, and she is also a brilliant gardener. and she will be there in Falls Village, Connecticut, November 8th at 5:30. We'll put up a diagram here, signing books of her Birdhaven farm. She is also just a brilliant gardener. So you will want to attend if you can and meet her, and if you can't, then you might want to get a copy of her book. The other thing that I am so excited about is my friend Bunny Williams will also be there. You may have seen us do a tour of her garden. I did an interview with her, and we are going to be at her shop at 100 Main, again in Falls Village, Connecticut, and she is going to be there. She's the celebrity. She's the big draw, because she is going to be signing the 21st anniversary copy of An Affair with a House. So it's been republished, reintroduced with some updates to it. It's an anniversary edition, and I think it's going to be really fun. And she is going to be there talking about her book and also signing copies. So it's going to be a threefer. You're going to get me, and more importantly, Janet Mavec and Bunny Williams. And I hope you can come. We're going to have champagne. We're going to do some shopping. Janet's jewelry is carried there, and I'm going to do some shopping for my grandbaby Danny. Stuart, do you remember when we were there and they had some baby clothes? Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. We're just going to have a good time. So I hope if you're in the area that you'll grab a friend and come. I think it's going to be a beautiful weekend. It's going to be fun, and I look forward to visiting with you, and we can all visit with one another. Some other books that are on my radar right now. I just bought these at Commonplace Books, my favorite bookstore, and I got this one, Lessons for Creating Floral Beauty in Every Room. And oh, is this a beautiful book? First of all, it's a beautiful coffee table book to leave out. It matches my colors, doesn't it, Stuart? But more importantly, it kind of matches my vibe, because a lot of the arrangements are a little bit more free form. See, I can kind of hold it up with the arrangement I did in the back. They're a little bit more garden inspired, a little bit more free form, and less florist inspired, I guess, more constant spry, using lots of seasonal foliage. Great inspiration, beautiful imagery for all seasons, and also using different kinds of unusual materials. My friend John Turman, that you know, he came over yesterday and we were visiting, and he immediately said he had to have this book. So he is ordering it for himself, and you might want to put it on your Christmas list, whether you are buying one for them and one for me, and this happens to fall in your cart, or you put it on your Christmas list for someone to purchase it for you. The other book that I saw, which is simply amazing, and here's a tease. We may be doing an interview and visiting with him when we go to New York City next week, but we may not. It just kind of depends on scheduling. But that is this brilliant book and the brilliant work of John Derian. Now, if you recognize that name, it may be because he had a line of merchandise at Target. He has all sorts of different things. He's been in every magazine there is, and he is just a wonderful designer. But this book it's absolutely incredible. I got the last copy at Commonplace Books. But what I love is the images are just so evocative, and they're also so seasonal, and they're nature inspired, they're retro inspired, they're mythologically inspired. There's different notations to Audubon, and I know the mythology around the cowboy, just all sorts of things, and beautiful botanical images. I cannot wait to just sit there in front of my fireplace and go through this book. So you might want to consider this book too, and maybe consider staying tuned to my channel to see if we are indeed able to get with John Derian. If we don't, we are still going to visit all sorts of different places while we are there. I cannot wait. We're going to try to visit the Mount, Edith Wharton's home. We're going to go to the Flower District. We are going to do some table setting and some seasonal decorating at my friend John's. We're going to do all sorts of fun things. And I think we're going to meet the Homeworthy people while we're there. So just a little tease to stay tuned for upcoming upcoming content. And as always, speaking of content, if you like our content and this kind of material, then please give us a thumbs up, give us a follow, subscribe, share it with your friends. And now, Stuart, what's the extra thing you can do? Not a super fan. Hype. There's a hype button. Maybe, Stuart, if you can, put something in here of how hype works.
Everyone be looking for a hype button. You help our channel.
Yeah, you really help our you help our channel, and because this channel is our business, it is our livelihood. But more importantly, I think we like to just spread good news. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this today, and you now take the time to go inside and cozy up your indoor spaces for the cool weather on the horizon.